In the dim glow of a quiet patent office in Bern, Switzerland, a young man with unruly hair sits alone at his desk. The year is 1905. Outside, the world rushes on in ordinary rhythm. Horses clattering over cobblestones, people hurrying to jobs that will soon feel obsolete. But inside this unassuming clerk's mind, reality itself is about to crack open. What if time doesn't flow the same for everyone? What if riding alongside a beam of light could reveal the universe's deepest secrets? One ordinary man, dismissed by teachers and rejected by academia, is on the verge of rewriting the laws of existence. This is the untold cinematic journey of Albert Einstein, the genius who was once called slow, the dreamer who bent time and space, and the reluctant prophet who unlocked the atom's fury only to spend his final years begging humanity not to destroy itself. Picture a sleepy town in Germany in 1879. The air carries the metallic tang of new factories and the promise of a changing century. On March 14th, a child enters the world in Ulm. His parents, Hermann and Pauline Einstein, could never have imagined the storm their son would unleash. Hermann tinkers with electrical gadgets in a modest business that struggles against larger competitors. Pauline fills their home with melodies from the piano, notes that drift through rooms like whispers from another realm. Young Albert arrives into this world not with fanfare, but with silence. He barely speaks until age 3 or 4. Concern clouds his parents' faces. Family servants murmur nicknames, the dull one, as the boy stares at walls, seemingly lost in worlds they cannot see. Yet beneath that quiet exterior, a ferocious curiosity simmers. At 5 years old, illness confines him to bed. His father brings a simple gift, a pocket compass. Albert holds it, turns it slowly, and watches the needle swing back to north with unyielding precision. No visible force pushes it. No strings or magnets he can touch. An invisible hand guides it. Through empty space. In that moment, something awakens. A fire ignites in the boy's chest. The relentless drive to uncover the hidden machinery of the cosmos. The compass becomes his first true teacher, revealing that the universe operates on elegant, mysterious rules waiting to be discovered. Music joins this awakening. Pauline places a violin in his hands. The instrument feels awkward at first, the bow resistant. But as notes emerge, halting, then flowing, Albert finds solace. Throughout his life, when equations grew tangled or doubts pressed heavy, he would play. The strings vibrated in harmony with his racing thoughts, unlocking insights no textbook could provide. This quiet boy, surrounded by skepticism, was already forging his own path through wonder and melody. School, however, becomes a battlefield. The rigid German education system of the era prizes memorization, discipline, and unquestioning obedience. Rows of students recite facts like machines. Questions are discouraged. Creativity? Viewed with suspicion. Albert rebels inwardly. He excels in mathematics and science, grasping concepts with intuitive leaps that leave classmates behind. But he drifts during lessons, his mind chasing beams of light across imaginary voids. Teachers clash with him. One famously predicts he will never succeed in anything worthwhile. Imagine the weight of those words on a young boy already fighting to prove his worth. Rejection plants deep seeds of doubt, yet also steel. Albert learns early that authority is not always right, and true discovery demands defiance. As adolescence arrives, family troubles mount. Hermann's business fails amid economic pressures. The Einsteins relocate to Italy, seeking fresh starts amid olive groves and Renaissance echoes. Albert, still a teenager, stays behind to complete his schooling in Germany. Loneliness descends like winter frost. The strict environment chokes him. In a daring move that foreshadows his lifelong independence, he abandons the school, crosses the Alps, and rejoins his family. Freedom tastes sweet. He wanders Italian countryside paths, devours books on philosophy and science, and lets his imagination roam unbound. The boy who questioned everything now questions his own future. University beckons. Zurich, Switzerland, the Polytechnic Institute. Entrance exams loom. Albert dazzles in physics and math, but falters elsewhere. He fails the first attempt. Failure stings, yet fuels determination. After intense preparation, he succeeds the second time, and enters the world of higher learning. University life exposes his independent streak. He skips uninspiring lectures, debates professors fiercely, and prioritizes original thinking over rote success. Friendships form with fellow rebels, but graduation brings isolation. No glowing recommendations. Professors, irritated by his nonconformity, offer little help. For 2 long years, Albert scrambles, tutoring students, facing closed doors, wrestling with the fear that his dreams might die in obscurity. Then, a turning point arrives in 1902. A position at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. Not the grand laboratory of his visions, but a humble desk evaluating inventors' ideas for everything from electric devices to mechanical improvements. The work is steady, even mundane for his lightning mind. He finishes tasks efficiently, leaving precious hours for private thought. Colleagues see a diligent clerk. None suspect the revolution brewing in his notebooks. By 1905, at just 26, Albert stands on the precipice. In a burst of creativity historians call the annus mirabilis, his miracle year, he produces 4 groundbreaking papers while still a patent clerk. No grand institute funds him. No famous mentors guide his pen. Just paper, ink, and an imagination that refuses limits. One paper confirms the existence of atoms through the jittery dance of pollen grains in water, Brownian motion. Another explores light's dual nature as both wave and particle, laying early foundations for quantum mechanics. But the 3rd and 4th papers ignite the true explosion. Special relativity emerges like a thunderclap. Returning to that childhood question of riding a beam of light, Albert realizes the profound truth. Time is not fixed. It stretches and contracts depending on motion. Space and time weave together in a 4-dimensional fabric. Clocks tick slower for objects moving near light speed. Lengths shrink in the direction of travel. The faster you move, the more dramatically reality warps. Imagine 2 twins. One stays on Earth, the other rockets away at immense velocity and returns. The traveler ages less. Time itself bends. This idea defied centuries of Newtonian certainty. It felt impossible, yet the math held unbreakable. Almost casually, he adds E equals mc squared. Energy and mass are interchangeable. A tiny bit of matter contains vast hidden power. The equation, deceptively simple, hints at energies capable of powering stars or destroying cities. These insights pour forth in isolation, transforming our understanding of the universe without fanfare. Suspense builds as the scientific community stirs. Who is this unknown clerk challenging Einstein? Wait, he is Einstein, challenging the giants of physics. Recognition comes gradually, then floods in. Universities that once overlooked him now compete for his presence. He moves through posts in Bern, Zurich, Prague, and Berlin. General relativity follows, a greater triumph. Gravity is not a force, but curvature in space-time caused by mass. Massive objects warp the fabric around them. Light bends near the sun. In 1919, during a total solar eclipse, British expeditions traveled to distant shores to photograph stars near the darkened sun. Their measurements confirm it. Starlight shifts exactly as predicted. Headlines blaze across continents. Einstein's theory triumphs. Overnight, he becomes a global icon. Crowds swarm lecture halls. His wild hair and thoughtful eyes symbolize genius itself. Yet fame brings isolation and peril. Europe darkens in the 1920s and 1930s. Economic turmoil, resentment, and rising extremism take root in Germany. The Nazi movement targets intellectuals, especially Jewish ones. Einstein, born Jewish though not devoutly religious, faces vicious attacks. His theories labeled Jewish physics. Books burned in public squares. A bounty placed on his life. Friends warn of assassination plots. In 1933, with the situation dire, he flees Germany forever. He finds sanctuary in the United States, settling at Princeton's Institute for Advanced Study. The exile carries heavy cost. Homeland lost, friends scattered, but freedom preserved. In America, he embraces a simpler life, sailing on lakes, playing violin, aiding refugees, and speaking boldly for justice. Yet greater trials await. As clouds of war gather, intelligence warns of Nazi efforts to harness atomic power. The same principles from E equals mc squared could birth a weapon of apocalyptic force. Horrified by the prospect of Hitler obtaining it first, Einstein signs a fateful letter to President Roosevelt in 1939, urging urgent American research. This letter helps launch the Manhattan Project. Einstein himself plays no direct role in building the bomb. He remains a theorist, but the moral shadow deepens. When atomic bombs devastate Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, ending World War II but unleashing unprecedented horror, regret consumes him. He calls the letter his greatest mistake, spending his remaining years campaigning passionately for nuclear disarmament, world government, and civil rights. The man who unlocked cosmic secrets now fights to prevent humanity's self-destruction. In Princeton, Einstein's later years unfold with quiet intensity. Colleagues describe him as absent-minded, yet warmly human, forgetting socks, helping strangers, pondering unified theories that might tie all forces together. He never stops questioning. Even as health declines, papers and calculations surround his bed. On April 18, 1955, at age 76, he passes, leaving the world forever altered. Einstein's legacy echoes through every corner of modern life. Relativity enables precise GPS navigation, powers our models of black holes and gravitational waves, and underpins cosmology's greatest discoveries. Nuclear energy, born from his equation, lights cities and raises existential questions. But beyond science, his story inspires millions. The child labeled slow became humanity's greatest dreamer. The rejected student reshaped reality. The exile fought for peace. He taught us that imagination outranks knowledge, that curiosity conquers conformity, and that even geniuses wrestle with doubt and consequence. Think of the boy with the compass, staring at invisible forces. Think of the clerk scribbling equations between patent reviews. Think of the celebrity who used fame not for ego, but for warnings against tyranny and war. In an age of rapid change and uncertainty, Einstein's life whispers a powerful truth. The greatest breakthroughs often come from those who refuse to accept limits imposed by others, who dare to imagine riding beams of light, who persist through failure, exile, and regret. His journey reminds us that history rarely unfolds in straight lines. Setbacks forge strength. Questions drive progress. And one person's relentless wonder can illuminate the path for billions. As we face our own challenges, technological revolutions, global tensions, personal doubts, what invisible forces might we uncover if we simply look closer? What beam of light are you brave enough to chase? The universe remains full of mysteries. Albert Einstein showed us the joy, the peril, and the profound beauty of pursuing them without fear. What do you think? Did the world judge Einstein fairly, celebrating his genius, while sometimes overlooking the human cost of his discoveries? If you could sit across from him in that Princeton study, what single question would you ask? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspectives keep these stories alive and help others discover the power of curiosity. Stay inspired. Keep questioning. The next revolution might begin with a simple wonder, just like it did for a boy long ago gazing at a compass needle under the German sky.